I was present when you auditioned. I went with, and this was not common, but
I don't remember this actually.
Yeah, I went with, it was not common, but Lorne, there was a showcase.
Yeah.
And
I can never say who was there. I can't remember.
Yeah, Lorne, I remembered, I didn't go to a lot of these, but Lorne wanted me there for I was a writer at SNL, young whippersnapper, and I...
Hungry.
I go with Lorne and Schneider, I think was the same night.
Yep.
And the other guy
Tom
was...
Kenny.
Tom Kenny, the voice of... This is before he was the voice of...
SpongeBob and Mr. Show.
And so, and watched you guys, and I remembered you were doing okay, and then at the end, you did your Michael J. Fox impression, and it killed. And I remembered Lorne, us driving away, and Lorne being like, I liked the Michael J. Fox guy, and then he liked Schneider, and so he brought you two in at the same time. And then I remembered getting to know you really when it was those Tuesday nights when we would stay up all night and write, and you and Chris Rock and Schneider would be kind of wandering around to see who had what ideas. Do you know what I mean? And you'd come in, you'd go like, "Hey fellas, anybody got any? Hey buddy, got any ideas?" And
fucking help me out, man.
But it's funny because I know your special, your stand-up special is Dandelion, and you have an explanation for why it's Dandelion, which is a little bit about your character. Fragile on the inside. But I always found you, my read on you was always, this is a guy with, you always had that kind of tough, not tough, but I would say sarcastic, dismissive, super sharp. Shell. But I could always tell you were a very sweet guy underneath.
I would say thank you, Eddie. I kind of agree that it was so tough there.
Scary.
And it was tough. It's the same reason I was sarcastic in high school. Like, I wasn't as scared of getting beat up at SNL, but in high school and grade school, I was in some bad places that I didn't like. And so it was sort of my thing, being a bit of a pipsqueak. So getting to SNL was the same thing. I'm just in over my head clearly and just trying to take it all in and going to doors going, I don't know what to do like here, and like everyone, it just takes so long to seep in and then figure out how to write on that legal pad and all that shit. And
that high-tech legal pad stuff.
It's a pad and a pen and you just go, and then the door closes and I go do what? I write a sketch, Toonces? I don't know. I don't write my own sketch. Do I write theirs? Who's the host? Do I get to meet a celebrity? But
the thing, I'm sure you guys have covered this on your podcast, but the thing that about SNL that no one understands is how, and this is true of a lot of show business, how little supervision there is.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to SNL and you think someone's going to tell you, okay, here's how it works. No one tells you anything.
Yeah. They're almost mad you're there.
Yeah. Oh, they are mad you're there.
Yeah.
Lauren's standard line when you'd encounter him in the hall was still with the show, still with the show, and you'd think, I think I am.
I told Lorne when we talked to him on the show, because it's a little easier to talk to Lorne now when all the stress is gone. He's fun to talk to, and he was like, because every year he would talk to the managers or whatever and go, I don't know. So can you just say he's coming back so he can keep his apartment? We're not there yet. So I would, for 6 years,
Lorne was the one that stole your car, by the way.
Was it?
Oh, it's a Honda Accord. I love those.
Me.
Someone give me a ruler. I'll jimmy it open.
Take that, prick.
I know how to hotwire it. I learned it in Toronto at university.
Things just got worse for you. So
I love that was revealed later on too. Miss your Honda, Lorne.
You hold me back.
I thought Gervitz told you.
I put the drop on you at ICM. Yeah. So anyway, I says.
I forgot you were an old sailor.
I says. Remember that Farley bit? I says to him, I says right to his face, I says. And I'm like, I go, afterwards at read-through, I go, you're not really going to do this on Update.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I go, is that enough to kill with 3 words? No. Watch. And I did, and he did. But
It's
anyway,
so
I tell Lorne every year he doesn't bring me back, and every year I have to get ready. I have to drag my mattress down. I have to sell it. I fucking get out of my apartment. Then about a month later, can't get a hold of him. He's in Amagansett. No phones. I mean, it's always the funniest. I can't get a hold of him. Then he finally goes, he says yes. So I go back, get an apartment. I'm stressed out of my fucking gourd. And then when we had him on the show, he goes, you were never in any danger of getting fired. I go, Lorne, look at me. There was some danger because maybe in your head, because it did work out, but it took a while. You were there. It took a while for me to get any, you get a few snarky lines here and there, but I was not that valuable. I remember one time Schmeigel said, Schmeigel?
Schmeagol is from Lord of the Rings, and he's the lowliest creature.
Yes.
And then there's Robert Smigel,
Yes.
who's also in.
And so
Lord of the
Smyg
Rings.
says, because Schneider was acting up for something, and Rob and I have talked about this forever, but we were all handling it differently. And he goes, Schneider's tough, but he is valuable, worth having around. And I was like, I want to be valuable. That's what it hit me. I was like, oh, you want someone to say in a position like Schmeigel was, like, we need you around, because he can go to Lorne, Rob, go, yeah, he's worth it. Because Rob is a funny writer,
Yeah.
and he had a kind of a gruff, abrasive personality back then, if that's fair. But I was the nice guy finishing last guy, and Rob was like, hey, I'm going to get in there, but it was working,
Stuff gets rewritten over time, and everybody.
Yeah.
And there's how you experience it, and this
Sure.
is actually kind of a recurring theme on the podcast that fascinates me. So I revisit it a lot, which is I talk to these very famous people who've had incredible success, like yourself, and then their take on it is harrowing. I felt like I wasn't going to make it. It was scary. It was touch and go. I squeaked by, and then in the end, things kind of worked out. But that is not how anybody else sees it. They just see you as being someone who is like, okay, big star on SNL, and then in movies, and then many TVs, sitcom, you're just like a staple.
Yeah.
But that is not how it feels to you.
I think, it in fairness, I'm pretty objective about it. I mean, most of things I say are lies, but when I look back, it was it was hard for me to get a foothold. I mean, obviously Sandler caught fire pretty quick, and he's got so many moves, all these characters, Spoon Man, everything was happening so fast. I was like, holy shit, he really came in loaded. And like Dana obviously is so good on the show, and Farley right from the get-go. So I just didn't have that. I was sort of just a comedian that could write some funny stuff, but took a while. By the end, I do like I'm lumped in with Farley, Sandler, Rock. I mean, that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
And I love it. So when I was just on a show, Rich Eisen this morning, I mentioned you because I was saying that chunk when I got there of talent around, which made me better, was running with people better than you. And I said Conan and Smigel and I think Greg Daniels and and all these writers and Downey and I could go on, Frank and then you got Neil and all the cast and Mike Myers and our new guys coming in with me and Adam and Chris Rock and Meadows and shit. So that was just a big chunk of people that you could look to anyone and go, oh, I can learn something from this guy. I can learn how to write, or I can learn how to perform or look at the table read. It took a while to seep in, and then I got better at it. But man, I could have gotten, if I left in a year, I told Gervitz I want to leave once. He goes, then what? I mean, where do you go? You left SNL and it didn't work. Now that's a hard place to be in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so he said, just stick. Even when I wanted to quit to do movies, he's like, you're getting movies only because you're on SNL. Do you understand? Yeah. I go, well, I don't have any time to do them. Maybe one in the summer. He's like, but if you leave, it's hard to explain, but it's true.